All right, and we are live. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Thought I would sit down and do a live for you guys and gals. Let's get this started. All right, so give you guys a forearm shot. See where the veins are. Let me turn this camera a little better. All right, there we go. There we go. All right, over to the point here to start, and then we'll get into your questions for you lovely guys and gals. So I'm going to continue the coaching special for Cyber Monday. It will be for new people who come on. It will be $50 off. The same thing for video calls for just at least for this week. Actually, I tell you what, for all of December, I will probably run the regular video calls at half off. It'll be $50 for a call for an hour, cover whatever topics you need. New clients who come on for coaching will be $50 off, at least for a few more days. I may run it through the rest of the week. I haven't decided yet. But at least for now, if you guys put in an application the next day or two, we'll run that. All right, so we're already getting some questions. Sam says, Jason, why is my deadlift getting stronger and my squat suffering from this aggressive cut? Well, it's very straightforward, Sam. Because body fat gives you a leverage advantage on the squat, and it puts you at a disadvantage on the deadlift, having to do with belly and stuff getting in the way. So what I want you to notice, and so this should be something that clicks in your head. Most of the strongest squatters in the world have a fat belly. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that most of the strongest deadlifters are leaner? And I'm not saying that's universally true, but as a general trend, have you noticed that fact? So the answer to your question is because you were losing body fat. However, if the deadlift's going up, then that's a good sign. That means you're at least keeping pace. But here's the other thing. Why are you doing an aggressive cut? Have I not told you that aggressive cuts are a bad idea? Okay, I think I've made that relatively clear lately. So why are we doing an aggressive cut? What that means. Let me check this person out. Hold on, give me a second here. Big Monique. I'm not really that big of a fan of candles, so I don't know where that came from. This is a fitness channel, though, so no, I haven't tried that type of candle. Never heard of it. It seems like a strange question. Let's come back over to Sam's. Yeah, I'm 1K, very impatient, had already lean 14 prevents want to get you. All right, Sam, quit cutting aggressive. Just cut slow from here. Quit being impatient. Play the long game, right? Everything that we do in fitness is about the long game. You've got to look at the long game. And I'll honestly tell you guys, quit bulking aggressively. Quit cutting aggressively. You can recomp most of the time. You can cut slow. You can bulk very, 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 very slow. Okay, you can gain muscle without gaining any fat. You can cut while gaining muscle, Sam. So rather than risk losing strength and losing muscle mass, why don't you just cut slow and make gains all the way through? All right, that's what I would. Right. Oh no, Big Monique, you're allowed to talk about candles. It's fine. I'm just not going to discuss candles with you. Is that fair? Like you're not being chastised. I don't think you're in the wrong. There's nothing wrong with loving candles. That's cool. Just that I'm sticking to fitness related questions, and so hopefully you understand that. But it's all good. But yeah, absolutely. If you're trying to lose weight, so. Monique, that would be the questions. Let's talk about losing weight. Ask me your diet and nutrition questions, because if that's why you're here, that's what I can really help you with, right? I can help you out there. You're right. Have you thought about using Tren again? Nope. I have no desire to use Tren. Absolutely not. The side effects, the health effects are not worth it. Big Monique. So what I'm going to say with that, I need to understand what your allergy is, because whey is not an allergy. So I can't answer that question unless I know specifically what substance you're allergic to, like if it's milk. Like if you have a milk allergy, I'll be able to get to that. But let me get to Matt up here first. Matt says, Matt, one of my orc warriors there, big chest and tricep day-to-day coach. One of my boys at the gym said, you've gone from friend zone to F buddy. That's how we do it on Team Blaha. Oh gosh. Yeah, there you go, man. There you go. All good. You're making gains when people are noticing, when the other bros at the gym are noticing, that you know you're making gains, bro. Keep it going. So here's what I would say. Is it Monique or Monet? How do you pronounce it? Because I've different people say it different ways. So what I would say is, obviously, if it's whey that you're allergic to, then a casein is just fine, like Optimal Nutrition casein. But okay, it's sort of so, yeah, that may not be it. You got to watch those self-diagnosed allergies. You got to watch those. Right? Just something to think about. You don't know that you have an allergy. Now, could you possibly have a lactose intolerance, in which case a high quality whey would be the way to go. So you may have a lactose intolerance. So by an allergy, does your throat swell shut? Do you go into convulsions? Like, does your face swell up, or does your throat swell shut? That would be a possible allergy, right? You'll know real quick. So you may have if it's GI tract distress, like you get a little upset stomach, some bloating, gas, diarrhea, bad stomach ache. Okay, you're lactose intolerant. You're lactose intolerant. Okay, your solution is to avoid whey concentrate and go to whey isolate. If you want to do a protein powder, you're describing as lactose intolerant. And I'm assuming that you are you African American? In which case, 75% chance of lactose intolerance. So I think we have a possible solution. Okay, it's not the whey, it's the lactose. So what I would go with would be a whey isolate. I'm a big fan of Optimal Nutrition. They do concentrates and isolates. I personally do the concentrate. Their isolate costs a little more. It's still very budget oriented. So if you said you bought a cheap one from Walmart, I think I know which one you're talking about. I think we all started with that one back in the day. All right, I know which one you're talking about. That Walmart brand. Yeah, I used to take that. So in this case, check out, you can get bulk containers of the big Optimal Nutrition concentrate. It's a slightly more expensive, the isolate, than the concentrate. That should, I'm hoping, resolve it. Now, if you're worried about wasting the money on it, buy a smaller one, like buy a little small thing of whey isolate. Maybe, gosh, what's that one company? Isopure. Get a small container of Isopure, that brand, and see how it does on your stomach. And if you don't have the problem, we've got your solution. Then you can go buy a bigger container of the isolate. How's that for a solution? Francis, well, right now I don't want to spray tan. Eventually I might mess with some spray tans for some photos. And so that's some people suggested already. All right. Dean B says going to start a slow cut. Would half a pound be too fast for recomp? 2.2 pounds. 2 pounds a month. That might be okay depending on where your body fat is. That might be okay for some recomposition, right? Jason, your forearms are 6%. I don't have any fat on my forearms. Would whey hydrolyzed be worth considering? Honestly, I'm gonna be fair, Monet. I'm not a fan. I think that for your purposes and what you're trying to do, again, if it's a lactose intolerance issue, I think the most cost-effective and beneficial route for you is going to be to go with a whey isolate. Just my opinion. No point in dishing out for the hydrolyzed. I think I'm not impressed. I think it's a product that doesn't need to exist personally. Right? Again, my opinion. All right. Since we're getting my professional opinion here, no, I would try and isolate. I think you'll be okay. And if not, then we know that it's not lactose. So like I said, if you don't want to throw a bunch of money on one, get a little small, almost sample pack of Isopure and try it out and see if you don't have the problems. But it's definitely not an allergy you're describing. It's definitely an intolerance, right? And it's not a casein intolerance. So usually, I was going to say, usually if people have a milk allergy, not always, but usually the allergy is to the casein, and the whey is giving you problems too. So I wouldn't necessarily try a casein, but definitely doesn't sound like an allergy. Most likely lactose intolerance. It could be something else, but 95% chance that's what it is. Dean says, I don't know, about 16 to 17%. Possibly I can try to lose a pound a month. That would probably, yeah, Dean, the slower the better. Like I tell guys, if you want to actually gain muscle while you're cutting body fat, just cut super slow. And even realistically, some people say, wow, that's nothing, that's all. But it's like if you're gaining muscle and you plot that out over 6 months, you're literally going to look better every month and you're probably going to make some gains. And again, play the long game with all of this, guys. Play the long game. Everything's about sustainable results over time. So hydrolyze is pretty expensive. Yeah, it's if I recall correctly, it's usually the most expensive, and there's no benefit. All we're looking at is how much filtration it's gone through. Right? We're looking at filtration. But again, if we're looking to cut any impurities out of it, the isolates are still going to be really the way to go. If you want to make absolutely sure things like heavy metals and stuff are low risk, which honestly, this is why I go with Optimal Nutrition, because out of the more inexpensive brands, they've always done really, really well in consumer reports, like on the independent testing. All right. Sam says, Jason, my delts are capped and I'm full, looking for a natural to the point where I'm wider than your users to hardcore gym. As you do insertions, muscle bellies, and structure, very possibly genetic structure. Maybe you've just worked really, 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 really hard. Right? All right. Matt says, hypothetically, if you're eating at maintenance, can you increase body weight? No. Nope. I don't need to read the rest of the question, Matt. If you gain weight, you are hypothetically in a surplus, no matter how small the weight gain is. You're gaining new tissue. All right. I think I'm going to get in the habit of not reading out any non-fitness related questions. I'm just going to let them float. So Matt, if you're at maintenance, in theory, your scale is going to stay roughly the same. Now, keep in mind, though, your maintenance is going to change. And that's what people have to remember. If you are recompositioning, your maintenance will go up over time, won't it? Monet says, thanks for the advice, Jason. You're welcome. Hopefully it helps you out. And I wish you good luck in your quest to get leaner, right? Got to melt that fat off, which we've gotten better at. Keep in mind, I used to be like 320 pounds. I've learned a few things about losing fat over the decades. I'm just glad to be able to pass that knowledge on to other people, improve people's lives. Isn't that, I mean, really at the end of the day, guys, isn't that what matters? when we step back and we look at our lives, right, and our purpose here on earth, if we help enough people and we leave the world a better place, was our life worth living? And we leave a better place by the people that we help around us. And I would much rather make my living helping people than doing a lot of stuff other people do, right? Sam says, Jason, do you think fasting has a very minor effect on increasing your TDEE? Nuanced question. Do I think fasting can help with nutrient partitioning in the context of, say, protein overeating after on the thermic effect? Yes. I think most of the benefit, though, comes from the nutrient partitioning. Monet says, if making my opinion as a girl, I love big shoulders and arms on a guy, but a guy with a nice booty, just there's backs to that. I try to tell that to these guys. I'm like, guys, build your butt, women will notice. I get guys all the time who are like, I don't want to do glute exercises. I'm like, why? Do girls notice? Women like a muscular butt. Well, let's be honest. That is a fitness topic, guys. That is a fitness topic. Women like a muscular butt. It will never hurt you with them to have a muscular backside. Not once have I ever heard a woman say, I just don't like a muscular toned butt of a man. I've never heard this. Not once. Right? Facts. Coach, have you considered liposuction? No, I'm just going to keep dieting them down in those spots. Like, why do something that you could just do with diet and exercise at a certain point, man? It's just, why go through an invasive, expensive cosmetic procedure with risk and complications? I've already lost plenty of fat. I have some stubborn areas. I can just keep dieting them down. They'll come off. And then what's the end result? Then we've got there without any downtime from training, without the extra risk. That's all good. And then it's more knowledge to pass on to my followers rather than, hey, you could just get some liposuction. That's not helping anybody. They notice legs too yet. Sam says, Jason is a dude I can't stand cottage cheese. Right? I would rather do Greek yogurt. Jim yeah, if reading the title, we're just calling it a Cyber Monday. It's still running for at least a few more days. So if you want a slot, put in an application. CB says because lipo, but CB, it's think of the effort involved in the recovery time versus that. It's not like you don't regain fat if you start gaining fat. It's just that you will gain it in a different area than the fat cells that are removed. It doesn't stop you from regaining fat later. If you still eat and regain fat, you're just going to gain it in other spots. So keep that in mind too. But you're like, well, they're gone forever. But again, we're back over to only if you overeat. But if you overeat, you're going to gain it somewhere. You're still going to regain the fat, right? So the guy says, Coach, what do you think about progressive overload on dumbbell Bulgarian split squats? I've almost reached the triple digits. Ooh, are you sure you're going deep enough on? Dude, that's a lot. I mean, I think if that's true, that's phenomenal, right? Phil says, I was thinking more about the stretch reflex and wondering if using would be better for squats if the goals improve sprinting and jumping for sports. Yeah, I would agree. Like if you're trying to get sport specific carryover, I would do a normal squat without pausing at the bottom, right? That's what I would recommend. It's for my son. He's 19 in college, plays soccer. Yeah, send him my Facebook link. All right, send him my link. Absolutely. I would send over an application. See, but it's not the best of both worlds because you're talking about a surgery to lose 5 pounds. You're talking about an invasive surgery.
If it's serious, ask me to call emergency services or someone you trust.
What was that all about? Siri, what's your problem? That was one of my 2 cell phones sitting here. All right. No, but CB, it's an invasive surgery for 5 pounds. You could just diet 5 more pounds off. That's the best of both worlds. What's a strong weight with a barbell for Bulgarians? I mean, 100 is crazy good. 100 kilograms. I'm thinking for Bulgarian split squats, if you can do sets of 10 with 1 plate per side for a full range of motion, that's pretty solid. Pretty solid. Yeah, I jumped. Right, I didn't know. I don't understand why Siri just did that to me. I don't know. What in the heck? Right? Phil says, thanks. That's what I was thinking too. Yeah, I mean, definitely if you're looking for sports carryover, man, that stretch reflex on your squat would be the way to go. Guys constantly come up to me talking about working out. I get them to stop. They're not. Monet, I try to make videos telling guys to quit doing that. The best advice I can give, put headphones in, crank your music up, put a cap down. It's unfortunate, right? It's unfortunate, but it's the way a lot of dudes are going to be. I know it's annoying. What are you going to do till the culture changes with it? I make videos telling guys not to do that. They're going to do it anyways, unfortunately. What's better for hamstrings, RDLs, or stiff leg deadlift? 6 one way, half a dozen the other. You get people saying you should be able to Bulgarian split squat 70% of your back squat. That's not even, no. I don't know anybody who does that. I don't know where they came up with that number. Jason, nobody talks about the facial aesthetic benefits of getting lean and being at a healthy body fat. It's not just physique. I talk about it, right? When you get lean, your face is going to look better. You have a stronger jawline, guys. Right? You're going to have a stronger jawline. You look better. Absolutely. Okay, so by the way, name is pronounced Monique, not okay. All right, it'll be Monique. I've seen different people prefer different ways. It's all good. I'll try to remember that. You don't need heavy weights on Bulgarians. The high volume is enough. I agree. I mean, but again, what's heavy? Heavy is relative. And again, when people are talking about throwing around these big weights on Bulgarians, you got to look at their range of motion. What are they really doing here? Because again, you come over and you talk about doing 2 plates a side on a Bulgarian. That's a strong dude. That is a strong dude. He's repping that like sets of 10 plus. I promise you that guy can squat well over 500 pounds. I promise you. Every single time. This guy says, I always do them on my 5-3-1 back offs. Yeah. So let's put it in context so that other people get a context. You're someone who regularly does them. You always do them. What is your back squat? Even for per rep work, you could list whatever for 5 if you don't do singles. And then how much do you do for Bulgarians? Let's give people a better scale. It's someone who does them regularly, therefore you're proficient at them. I think people will see what I'm saying. I personally think people who can rep out 1 plate aside is pretty good. I just saw this, John, there's still $50 off. I'm going to run a few more days. I'm going to run it at 200. Jason, do you think Callie was a hyper responder to gear or just abused a ton? No, he abused a ton. Keep in mind, he's really short, so he's going to look super stacked. Callie is really, really short. He's something like 5'5", right? So he's going to look really stacked. But yeah, he just abused large amounts. And he trained a long time. Is using a mixed grip on RDLs all right? Yeah, it's fine. Dean, I assume you're talking about Bulgarian split squats, because I mean, I've got to scroll back and forth. There's too many conversations. They're a phenomenal exercise. My God, are they mentally grueling? Yeah, absolutely. No, John, it's not going to. No, dude, we're not doing 100. I'm sorry. There's no. All right. Yeah. I mean, 200 is pretty much a flash sale. Right. We're talking OG prices. Like when I first started doing online coaching, I started at 200. That's the cheapest I've ever done. John, I have no idea because people wouldn't see it in time. I don't think it would, but it wouldn't matter because it would not be a good use of my time versus income, to be honest. Like that wouldn't be financially that beneficial for me to do that. It just wouldn't. Unless it was just a couple of, but even then, I don't know if they would stay on. Who knows? Because if people are that tight of a budget, they're probably not financially stable enough to even stay on as clients. It's just not. Jason, with fitness personality, athlete, or bodybuilder, would you consider a hyper responder? I don't know because I don't always know what they're using. I'm going to say probably Ronnie Coleman was probably a hyper responder, right? I mean, as a general rule, most of the guys who are winning the Mr. Olympia were probably hyper responders to gear if they're placing first there. Yeah, John, I'm good. I don't need business marketing 101 in my streams, but I'm good. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate you looking out for me. Kevin LeBron was a legendary. It probably was. Yeah. Kevin LeBron used to take 3 months off from lifting every year completely while competing pro bodybuilding. I remember that. It was like, what? And he would shrink way down. The dude would legitimately regain like 50 pounds and then be shredded. Ridiculous. I find upper back and unilateral leg work just keeps me progressing on barbell, high bar squat. As long as you're still doing high bar squat. Yeah, probably. So sufficient workload on the high bar squat and then those thrown in will probably keep you doing pretty good. But what are you lifting? So throw me some numbers out. So you're saying, because guys always say, I've seen good results doing this. What are your results? Like what sort of numbers are we talking about here? And I'm not discounting your progress, but I do occasionally get someone who will come in and say, well, I did this and this is the results I'm getting, and they don't really have results. And not being offensive, they just don't, not enough to say that. But I'm not saying there's anything wrong with what you're saying either, because it actually sounds reasonable to me. It sounds perfectly reasonable. But it's just that I always tell people qualify that stuff when you talk about results. Because I've had that where dudes are saying, well, I got this result on oh gosh, probably not even the same norm would be. Yeah, this is a fake. Intermediate coach 350 for 5. Yeah, that's not bad. So we should count reaching failure on a set as the rep before a grinder, right? The last, no? No, failure means you miss a rep. That's not failure. Failure would be that you attempt to do a rep and it just sticks. That would be failure. Jason, I do notice I'm slightly stronger when I lift faster. Yeah, it could be your stomach, less blood flow, less gastrointestinal distress. I train fasted, dude. You see me throw around some big weights fasted. I train fasted every day. Thoughts on having a narrow stance when squatting? It feels more natural than wider. Do you find it stronger? Does it feel better? I'm fine with that. All right. Hey, John. Coaching has a meaning in the fitness world that is not going to change. Like these guys are not true fitness personalities to any degree, so no, it does not going to be that way. Anyone who wants a coach wants a coach. They know what coaching means. You just got to be realistic here, dude. I also record my progress, no BS bad form here. All right, good. I mean, you've at least got results. So I mean, 350 for 5, you're in a decent place. You've got a good base. You've got enough of a strength base that you have an idea of what's actually working. So yeah. I'm not going to answer that one, bro, because I don't know what any of that means. Yeah, life coach. I don't understand the whole life coach thing at all. Well, yeah, I mean, Wes Watson's not really a fitness guy, is he? Hey, Jason, a big guy at my gym told me I should try machine preacher curls as opposed to barbell preacher curls. I could load it more. What about, just because you can load a machine more doesn't mean that there's more tension on the muscle. It's just the mechanics of the machine. I don't even have the problem with the machine preacher curl. I mean, that's fine, but I think free weights work great on preacher curls. When you think about what you're trying to get out of the exercise, free weights will do everything you need them to do on a preacher curl. Just my opinion. All right. Because the only benefit with the machine might be more tension at the top, but you're really doing that exercise for that lengthened position anyways. That's the perk. So, a normal barbell curl will give exactly what you're trying to get out of the machine on the preacher. And I'm not saying it's wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the machine preacher curl is a bad exercise. It's just it doesn't need to exist. William says, just stand straight on the wall, tuck your wrist back, elbows to flex your triceps and curl. I don't think you even need to stand against the wall. Problem with standing against the wall is it will limit range of motion at the bottom. We're missing an important part of the exercise if you're not careful. And if you don't have the best bicep genetics, that's going to be a disadvantage. The strict curl is a partial though. Like the actual competition strict curl is a half rep. So if you're like me and you weren't blessed with great bicep genetics, may not be the best exercise because you're skipping too much. Is there any true benefits of lifting in compression clothing? Nope, not at all. Peanut, how much weight do you do for barbell preacher curls? Like this week, so yesterday, I was doing sets of 15 with, 50 pounds? Sets of 15 with 50 pounds on the all full range of motion pause at the bottom. So it's not that heavy, right? How much time after lifting do you consume your post-workout meal? A couple hours. What do you think of seated calf raises? They're not best for overall size. They're better for the soleus. They're not going to be as good for the gastrocnemius, the larger head. Chase, for someone with exceptional biceps and extra chin-ups would be sufficient? Maybe, but they could have better biceps if they did curls too. I use the long bar and do 25s 15 times. Yeah. So you're about 20. So you're about 95 pounds on a straight bar. That's pretty solid for 15 reps on a full range of motion preacher. That's good. You probably have bigger arms than me. To be fair. Yeah. I mean, if the number you gave is true, then objectively speaking, I guarantee you got at least an inch of bicep on me. Right? Totally objective statement. Assuming that is a real number and it's all the way down. you should have at least an inch of bicep on me. I kind of need to, that's where I need to be actually. What's your stance on trap bar versus regular barbell deadlifts? I am not a fan of the trap bar deadlift. I've made that very clear over the years. It's not my thing. I own one. I probably am going to sell it eventually. It's just taking up space. I don't even use it. I don't like it. I think the risk versus reward. And I know some people see it the other way around. To me, the trap bar is a solution looking for a problem. Is a 16.3-inch arm as a natural good? That's phenomenal. Jason, are your strength standards for chin-ups? For which set of strength standards? I don't even have really a chin-up strength standard right now. It's usually pull-ups. I only do standing calf raises with heavy ass weights, but I find the actual loading after 8 sets a bit excessive. Also, the bar really digs. No, you got to just build that callus. Man, you're going to hate me. Bro, you remember not that long ago when I built up to 500 pounds on the standing calf raises? I do that without a shirt on. I did 10 reps with 500 with no shirt. My traps were fine. This is off-topic question with strength training. Do you think the future? I'm not even going to bother with that. Jeff never put out a new video talking about how to bulk with minimizing fat gain. Yeah, I heard. I need to check that out. I may check it out. Possibly cover it tomorrow or something. Might be worth doing. Right. I saw a couple of you guys mention it. What did he say? What's the cliff notes, if you could tell me briefly? Right. 1 to 2 pounds per week. That's going to be excessive fat gain. I absolutely would not gain a pound, let alone 2 pounds. No, he can't have said that. Do you mean per month? I usually advocate a pound a month. A novice can do 2. If you're not a novice, I think 2 pounds a month is way too much. I did 3 sets of it with 500. Now I'm just doing really high reps. I think I did two plates. I did left the squat bar on this time, so I put 2 plates on that for 235. I'm doing like sets of 30, 235, and squeezing a little bit more. But I know I did 3 by 10. It didn't really leave a mark. You need to build your callus up. But you're still a newer lifter. You'll be fine. Give it a few more years. Give it a few more years. Yeah, I mean, I could see 2 pounds a month as a skinny novice. But for someone who's not a skinny underweight novice, I think 2 pounds a month is excessive. It's going to be mostly fat. So you can't minimize fat gain while gaining 2 pounds a month. It's going to be mostly fat. It's like 3/4, 70, 80% of that weight will be fat. That's not minimizing. Minimizing is, can I gain 1 pound of fat over the entire bulk? If you gain 1 pound of fat in a 9 to 10 month bulk, that is minimizing or less. Or if you gain 0 fat. Do you think adding dumbbell flies will overtrain my bench press? Probably not. How long do you think you'll anticipate? I don't have a set point because I'm going to continue to improve. So even if let's say in a few months I'm doing better, and I should be, because I mean we're making almost weekly progress, right? That's still not going to be enough. My goal is pretty much to continue to improve my physique all the way into my 50s. So my goal is, no matter how good I look next year, is to look even better the year after. And I think that's a reasonable take. I mean, I have an idea of where I want to be, but I look at it and go, can we always be better? is it ever really going to be? I mean, especially as someone who's doing this whole influencer thing, is there really an upper threshold, or do I need to just always keep looking better and better and better and better? And I think that's what I need to do. PS5 says, like, make my bench weaker. No, not necessarily. When has gaining muscle in your chest ever made your bench weaker? This guy says, I'm thick coach, kind of lean, but gaining a bit of a winter fat on 225 on a good day. Man, I'm 211. You're 14 pounds heavier than me. What would you say is a good ballpark figure for water consumption relative to body weight? It doesn't need to be relative to body weight. I'd say anywhere from half a gallon up to a gallon. Pretty good. All right. Besides getting bigger, John did lots of stuff. So we just need to keep improving. I need to be denser. I need harder, rounder delts, bigger arms, tighter waistline, better abs, all of that. We just need to keep improving, right? We need to just keep improving all the time. Sam, Eddie Hall started the carnivore diet. His blood markers are terrible. Of course they are. Carnivore diet is terrible. No sane person is running. I can't believe someone talked Eddie into doing this. This is how bad it's getting. William said he's 206, right? Okay. PS5, if I want to get my bench stronger, should replace isolation exercise with more compound exercise because I feel isolation does not help me. That's not how it works. No, dude, at this point, you need direct one-on-one help if you're asking questions like that. Because to answer that question, I need a full training history. I need to see what's going on with your bench. I need to know how strong you are. I need to know what you're doing. You're not asking a simple yes or no question. So if I give you an answer to that question, it's going to be possibly incorrect. And I don't want to give you an incorrect answer. Is a 1 AMREP set of core really enough, coach, if in your program? Honestly, because core gets work with so much other stuff, we could make a case. But man, I know people who do a lot more successfully, right? All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and wind this down. This is the third live today. I did a couple of these. All right, guys. So I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys and gals next time.